What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going over your Ableton preferences. I'm going to show you exactly the ones I'm using so that you can set them up the best that they can be and you don't have to worry about them ever again. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so if the colors look a little different than yours, that's totally fine. That's because I went ahead and changed my theme here. I actually created my own theme called the Fearless theme, which is in my drum kit. But I'll go ahead and link the video where I discuss different Ableton themes and how you can download free ones and stuff like that. So you don't have to pay for the drum kit if you want to get a different theme. But yeah, so you can pick your different theme here. You can change the brightness of how everything looks. You can change color intensity. You can change color hue, and you can do grid line intensity as well, which is the grid lines that show up in Ableton here. So these lines right here, you can change the color of those if you want to do that as well. And right now we're just in the look and feel section right here. So you can pick your language, which you probably don't need to change. Don't show warnings, you can bring those back up. Let's move over to audio now. This one's going to be a little more important. I'm not actually going to click on any of these because I don't want it to mess up the video, but what you're going to want to do is for your input device, if you have a microphone that you want to record vocals with, or if you have like a guitar that you're going to record into your DAW or anything like that that you're going to be importing into your DAW, that's where you're going to pick that input device. For the output device, that's what you're going to be using to listen to your music. So maybe it's your laptop speakers, maybe it's your monitors, or maybe it's some headphones. You're going to go ahead and pick that in your output tab right there. For the sample rate, 44 1K is totally fine. Don't worry about that. That is the standard for music these days, so that's what I'm using. There's no reason to go any higher. I also use 512 samples, this is just the latency between when you hear the audio and when it actually plays. And this right here is for testing different frequencies and tones in your room that your room might be cutting out. So let's go into the link and tempo. Now you're really only going to use this if you have MIDI keyboards and things like that. And if you have like a Launch Key Mini or something that's meant for Ableton, or if you have like one of the newer keyboards, like you see I have the complete control here, it's going to fill in that information for you automatically. But if it doesn't, that's where we're going to go ahead and change it, is in this menu right here. Okay, so in the file and folders section right here, I really haven't changed anything, but you can set like a temporary folder where you want it to save your temporary files before you actually go ahead and save them. So if your Ableton were to crash and you didn't save it, luckily, it keeps a temporary file as a backup. Now, there's no guarantee on how much it's going to back up, but you can pick a spot where you want it to save. And besides that, you really don't need to mess with anything else too much, unless you want to mess with the cache folder. But for the library, this is also something that I haven't played with as well. Not a big issue. You can choose where your installation folders are going to be for certain packs that you may download from Ableton. Also locations of your user libraries and stuff like that, but usually you want to leave that to default because it already knows where it's located on your device, so you're fine just leaving it how it is. Let's go into plugins now. For plugins, this is going to be important if you have a custom folder where you save all your plugins. So by default, when you download a plugin, it's going to put it in a certain folder on your system. And by default, if you just leave on this one right here, it's going to use the system folder, so you see I have that on. And then VST2s and VST3s are different. VST3s are more of a newer type of VST, so make sure they're both on so you have all your plugins, just in case some of them are VST3s. And if you have a custom folder, you can turn that on as well. I'm not using it. And then you can go ahead and set where that custom folder exists. For this one, what I really like to do is when I'm recording, I like it to count in right before it records. So that way it doesn't start as soon as I record. Like if I'm like planning on putting something down, I want to give it a little buffer. So what I do is I actually give it a buffer right here and the count in. So I give it a bar. So that means it's going to count for a bar before it actually starts recording, and it gives me kind of a chance to get my hands in position if I'm ready to record or something like that. So that can be really useful if you want to do that as well. You can set your recording type. So obviously I'm going to use WAV. That's the more high quality file, and I'm going to use 32-bit because that's going to allow me to record the highest file possible. Okay, so besides that, I set my default warp mode to complex. That just means when I bring in a file, it's going to put it in complex mode by default, which is the best one in my opinion, so I would change it to that as well. Besides that, I really haven't changed anything else, so if yours looks different, you can go ahead and copy these if you'd like. Okay, and this last tab is just your Ableton license, so if you need to log out or you need to authorize a different account, let's say you have a different account that you want to use, you can handle that here. That's it, guys. Nothing crazy going on there. So those are the settings that I'm using, and I recommend you set yours to that, and you can tweak some things if you want as well, but those ones have worked me wonders, and I know they're going to work you wonders too. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Also, make sure to smack the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're uploading the craziest Ableton tutorials. We literally hold nothing back here. If you haven't noticed already, or maybe you're new to the channel, we literally show all the sauce every single time, and if I forget to add something, literally comment on it and I get back to like almost everybody's comments. It's kind of insane, but yeah, we have nothing to hide over here. I want everybody to grow and be the best producer they possibly can, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on all these free gems. Besides that, guys, I'll be catching you all again in the next one. Peace out.